All right, hello and welcome to the video. What we're going to be talking about are 5 SEO tips for farmers. So yes, SEO, search engine optimization. This is not a strategy that's just reserved and only possible for the big guys like ButcherBox and CrowdCloud to use. There are some things that you can do to help boost your SEO value, to help build more awareness and visibility for your website, and ultimately grow and acquire more customers. So if you haven't watched one of our videos before, my name is Brooks Hitsfield with 7 Sons and GrazeCart. GrazeCart is a custom online shopping cart and website platform that helps you get your products online and in front of more customers using the power of the internet. So SEO, if you're not familiar with this concept, basically what it is helping build credibility for your farm on search engines like Google and Yahoo, and there's some other ones that are out there. But help your farm be more likely to show up in search results that your customers might, or potential customers might be searching for. So if you think about it, whenever you're using the internet, you have a question, you're doing research, most of the times you're probably going to turn to Google. That's where most of the internet traffic originates from, or from platforms like Google, and it's the same thing for your customers as well. But something that people have a hard time realizing is that the internet is becoming very competitive. Okay, so when you launch your website, in that exact same hour, there were 300 other websites that were launched at the same time. So there's something that you need to do to help your website stand out from the rest. I always tell people that, it's like when you launch a website, it starts out in the desert. So there's some intentional strategies that you need to employ to get out of the desert, show up in a small village, and eventually a metropolitan area to get in front of more customers. So what really inspired this video is we get the question a lot, why doesn't my website show up on Google? Okay, so I launch a brand new website, I go to search for it on Google, and I can't find it, which is a big problem because people don't remember website addresses anymore. Okay, so if I meet you at the farmer's market, your Smith Family Farms, I'm probably going to go home and Google that if I'm interested, instead of actually remembering the exact web address and typing in www.smithfamilyfarms.com or something like that. So it's really important to make sure you show up in these search results for your own farm name at a bare minimum. But we're going to help you go beyond that with these 5 tips as well. Tip number 1 is to register your Google business listing. So this is the easiest thing you can do to start to build some SEO value with Google. So you go to this link here, google.com/business, and what this does is it basically allows you to create a listing to where you can answer questions and give information about your business to Google. That way they have that information and it's relevant in their system to possibly use your website to show up in search results when people search things that might be relevant for your business. So when you do this, you will get a profile here if you've ever seen these profiles on the right-hand side of search results, and that will have information for your farm on Google. So this profile could possibly show up when people start to search for your own farm name or things like that. So it'll have a link back to your website. People can click for directions and leave reviews. The cool thing is that once you register that business listing, this is what determines how you show up on Google Maps. So if you have a farm store or something like that and people are constantly searching for your address for directions, this is what allows you to show up on the Maps tool there. Once you register your business listing, you're going to be more likely to show up in local search results, or I like to call it local SEO. So for terms like grass-fed beef, at 7 Sons we raise grass-fed beef, it would be awesome if we ranked number 1 for that search term, grass-fed beef, except that's a very highly competitive search term. There's a lot of other bigger businesses out there than 7 Sons who are competing for that search result. So we're really, it would take a lot of effort to figure out how could we possibly show up for number 1 for this, and that might not even be possible for our business. So what you can do though is you can start to boost your local SEO. So if people have a search term that includes grass-fed beef plus a local search term like Fort Wayne, which is a city outside of our area, then we would be more likely to show up in a search term like that because it's more specific. So this is really helpful, and that's value that you get from registering your business listing because Google now knows where you're located. So it might take some time for you to show up in these type of search results, but if you Google Seven Sons, Fort Wayne or Indiana, you might see that we'll show up in search terms like that. So this is another reason why you're going to want to register that business listing and then give it time to where you start to build more credibility for Google, because you might start appearing in local search results like this, which is helpful because you probably only do business in a local area anyway, so that's where the opportunity is going to be for you. Tip number 2 is to acquire more Google reviews. So when you register your business listing, customers can leave reviews on that listing, sharing their experience with other potential shoppers that are out there. So you want to make sure that you have positive feedback on your Google page, because not only does that instill confidence in other potential shoppers out there, they see that other people have had a great experience with you, which instills more confidence, but it also instills confidence with Google. They see that your customers are having a great experience and people are happy with your business, then they're going to be more likely to show your business in front of another competitor out there who might not have reviews, or maybe they have poor reviews. Okay, they're going to be more likely to show the business that's having success with their customers versus the one that isn't, because they want people to get the results they're looking for on their platform. So they're incentivized to do this, okay? So what we do at Seven Sons is we ask all of our first-time customers after they receive their first order, we ask them for their feedback, and we ask them to leave that feedback on our Google business page. Now, this does take an incredible amount of confidence because we have no control over the reviews that people leave on here. So we can't delete any negative comments or things like that. This is completely up to the customer. So you have to have a lot of confidence in the quality of the product and the service that you provide to take this step. But you can see we have 441 reviews and an average of 4.9 out of 5 stars. So we're really proud of that. So if you're confident in the systems that you have in your farm, that experience that you give to your customers, that's always step 1 anyways for your business, to try and get that shored up. Start to ask for reviews, or just ask for feedback on your Google page. And again, this is going to help not only instill confidence in your customers, but Google as well. Tip number 3 is to basically utilize the power of link building. So this is a strategy to where you get a link of your website out on someone else's website. So if people click that link, they link back to your website. So what this does is this acts as basically like a peer-to-peer referral system. So if Google sees I have a website and there are multiple other websites out there that link back to my website, then it's saying that, hey, all these other people seem to like this service, then this website must be a reputable website if there's other people out there that are linking to it. So there's a lot of different options to help try to get links to your website out there. If you have holistic health professionals who recommend your service, ask them if they'd be willing to provide a link to your website out as a resource on their website. There's local news services that, sometimes you might have a local news service do an article on you. If they do, always try to ask if there's going to be a web version, and if so, try to include a link, get them to include a link on that article. And then there's travel sites as well. So there might be, things to do in this area type website. So those are sites that if you do farm tours or events or things like that, they'll be happy to include a listing or a link of your website out on that service as well. But one of the best sources for link building are actually online food directories. So you've probably heard of a lot of these before. There's a lot of different food directories out there like Eat Wild, Local Harvest, RealMilk.com. So these are directories where people can go to find products that you might offer, like grass-fed beef and pastured porks and things like that. It's completely free for most of these servers to create a listing. But not only do you get, because people are going to these websites to find products that you offer, so that's targeted traffic of people who have an intention to buy coming back to your website, but it also helps build credibility, again, with Google, because some of these websites like eatwild.com, Local Harvest, they've been out there for a really long time, so they've had time to build SEO value with Google, and they get a lot of traffic. So these are great places to start doing some link building. In fact, my older brother, for an entire year, he made it his goal for every week for an entire year to find some online food directory to get a link of our website out on which sounds like a lot of work, but after, you can imagine, after an entire year of doing that, then that's 52 links that are out there that you do the work once, and that's always pointing traffic back to our website. So this is a very high leverage thing to do with your time. So these last two tips are a little more advanced, but definitely something you want to have on your radar. Number 4 is page titles and descriptions. So these are basically the page titles and descriptions that show up on search results on Google. So if your website shows up, it's going to have a page title and a description on there. You want to make sure that you have control over customizing what is shown inside of these search results. That way you can customize the description that people see for your link. That way you can try to entice them to be more likely to click on your search result versus some other option that's on the list. In order to do this, you want to make sure that you use a website platform that gives you control over editing your page titles and page descriptions. That's the technical term for this. So make sure you ask your website provider if this is something that's possible. We give this control to all of our GrazeCart users. You want to make sure you can do this not just for your homepage on your website, but for every other page that you have as well. So you might have a page for every single product that you offer, or maybe a page for tell your story or things like that. You want to make sure that you can customize what shows up inside the description to try to get to try and entice your customer to click your link. So try to keep it relevant to the page, or else that's not going to do any good if you get someone on your page. If it wasn't what they're looking for, they're just going to click the back button. So try to entice them to click your link and then keep it relevant to what's on the page. Number 5 is website content. So this takes ongoing work, but you're probably already producing content for your customers, maybe videos that you host on YouTube that helps tell your farm story, shows the behind the scenes of how you raise your animals and that point of difference for why customers would want to buy from you versus where they're currently buying their products, which can help to build a relationship with your customers, right? People like to buy from people they know, like, and trust. So this is something that a lot of us are probably doing, but you want to make sure that when you're creating your videos, you just don't leave them out on YouTube to, just sit there. Because what you can do is you can actually embed these YouTube videos on a blog post or a page on your website. And what this does is it increases the likelihood or possibility that this YouTube video or this piece of content that you created could show up on a Google search term. So it helps build more SEO value for your website instead of a platform like YouTube or something like that, which is less likely anyways to show up in a search result. So we always take the time when we create videos. We also create a custom page or blog post, embed that video on the website, and then we actually will transcribe it as well. So we'll have some words on here, because if you just keep the video on this page, then that doesn't tell Google a whole lot about what this video is about. But if you transcribe the video and have some text on here and some bullet points, then that gives just a little bit more information for Google to work with. So I think the standard out there, people like to see about 1,200 words on every single blog post. So we try to get somewhere around that. But anything is better than nothing. So make sure you transcribe these videos and get them on your website. So if you have a list of 20 videos you've done in the past, even if they're old, take the time to get them on your website to help build more SEO value for that site. Also, another piece of content on your website are your products. Okay, so if you do sell your products online, then you want to make sure that you use a service that allows a custom page for every single product that you offer. So if you go to sevensons.net, you'll see that all of these have a custom page where people can learn a little bit more about the product. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you have the ability to customize what that link looks like for the product. So you can see on here that we have a very clean link structure for this product, which again will help Google know a little bit more about what's included on this page. So if you're not using a website service that allows you to customize this, you're definitely going to want to possibly look at making that transition down the road when you're looking at a new service. So that's about it. So 5 tips just to recap here. Number 1, you want to make sure you register your Google business listing. This is the best thing you can do to get started. You want to send your happy customers to that listing to leave their feedback for you as well. That's not only going to create social proof and confidence in your customers, it's going to create confidence with Google. Make sure you employ the link building network and get links to your website out to your site to boost that peer-to-peer referral system. Keep your page titles and descriptions clean and attractive to entice people to click. and then create that ongoing resource of content and make sure you keep that content on your website so it builds value for your website, not platforms like YouTube and things like that. So, and that's it. I hope you guys like this video. Again, these are easy steps that anyone can do and follow. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you have any feedback or questions, leave them in the comment section below. I also have a free resource for anyone who is interested called the Farm Marketing Makeover. This is an online course that we created that talks about really the most important things you can do to help build more awareness for your website when you're first getting started in the world of internet marketing. So we'll talk about things like SEO and many other strategies that you can employ as well. This is basically built off of 20 years of experience of online marketing at Seven Sons, and it's the resource that we wish that we had when we first got started. So we've created it to hopefully, cut some of that time off of the learning curve for you. So just go to the link. I'll have it in the description below. You can register. It's a 3-video series. It doesn't take a huge time commitment, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So I hope to see you on the course, but thanks again for watching the video.